Brad Sweet and Rico Abreu from the front row. Dylan Bloomfield and Corey Day in row number 2. Kyle Larson, James McFadden in row 3. Tyler Courtney and Brenham Crouch in row 4. Row 5 is Cole Macedo and Landon Brooks. 35 times around the Thunderbowl Raceway here on Thursday night Thunderbowl for 25 large. Behind your top 10, Shane Golobic and Corey Eliason in row number 6. Spencer Bayston and Brett Marks in row 7. Tanner Carrick and Chris Windom in row 8. Justin Peck and DJ Netto in row 9. Jock Goodyer, Justin Sanders, row 10. Thunderbowl Raceway. We got them racked, we got them stacked, and we've got the grandstands packed. Let's go racing off at turn number 4. We are green.
Down the front straightaway, a stellar start by Brad Sweet in turn 1 over Rico Abreu. Here comes quick work out of Kyle Larson, but Dylan Bloomfield challenging Rico Abreu chase.
Bloomfield has all 8 candles lit under the hood of that 83 V car, makes his way into the second spot, slides in front of the former Trophy Cup champion, takes second for a moment, but Abreu back to the inside, and we've got a caution, and it looks like Brooks, maybe? Yes, Landon Brooks. Looks like he got upside down on our flow screen here, so yes, red flag is actually coming out.
Tough break for Landon Brooks. Ran second on the opening night of the Trophy Cup to his teammate at the time, Rico Abreu, driving for Steven Tyner and Kyle Hurst, as the car rests on all fours off the exit of turn number 4 here at the Myrtle Stone Chevrolet Thunderbowl.
Landon Brooks, a 410 winner this year at the Skagit Speedway on May 18th. Best finish here with the 410 at 13th place result with the NARC Sprint cars in 2022. Had a 10th place run with the Outlaws earlier this year at Cedar Lake Speedway in Wisconsin. The defending Red Bluff Outlaws Open Division champion up there indoors in NorCal. Gonna take a look at the replay here via the Flow Racing drone. It's gonna be on the opposite side of where the drone is. Turn number 4. Landon Brooks, you see him right there into the wall, and yep, that's something we see a lot here at the Thunderbowl there, Brad.
Yeah, and it's pretty common, and unfortunately, sometimes it makes the cars faster, but unfortunately with the amount of moisture that they put back into the racetrack kind of grabbed them a little bit, and that concrete's a little unforgiving if you don't hit it right here at Tulare.
With a couple bushelfuls, a couple handfuls of fresh picked table grapes, the guys over at Nick Parker's car picked 25 pounds of fresh grapes this morning, and they came and shared them with me, Chase. They said it looked like I could use something healthy to eat, and, well, they were right. So, tomorrow, and the rest of this West Coast swing, I will be heading over to the Parker team because they're gonna hook us up with some fresh fruit this week. I suggest you come down and join. I know it's not in and out, Chase, but I think you'll still like some fresh fruit.
Okay, good stuff there, Tony. Thank you for that. We'll make sure to stop by the Parker Automotive number 15 trailer at some point throughout this West Coast swing. We know that Nick Parker is going to follow us up to the Gold Cup Racing Champion, Silver Dollar Speedway. Pace truck lights are out. We're going to the green flag. Still no laps in there, Brad. We got a long ways to go, 35 laps to go to be exact. Brad Sweet and Rico Abreu from the front row. Here we go off the 4th corner of the chalk stripe, and we're underway once again.
Another good start by Brad Sweet. Rico going to take the line away from Bloomfield into turn 1, slip of the grip. And here comes Corey Day along with Kyle Larson. Bloomfield a second chase. That 83 V cars look spectacular tonight.
Yeah, Bloomfield into the second position, slides up to the cushion, tags it off at turn number 4, and tries to pull away from Rico Abreu, but Abreu's right in his back pocket to work back into turn number 1. Bloomfield goes to the bottom, Abreu to the top. Meanwhile, Brad Sweet pulling away with the race lead.
The racetrack tonight is definitely giving some Trophy Cup vibes. You can really diamond it big time in turns 1 and 2. Rip the lip in turns 3 and 4 as Brad Sweet starts to check out.
Brad Sweet, the last time by, enjoying a 1.2-second lead over the 83 car of Dylan Bloomfield. Here comes Kyle Larson. Has the right rear drilled into the cushion off at turn number 2, and he's on the back bumper of Corey Day. Now tries to float the middle. The 57 of Kyle Larson up to the 4th spot. No, he's not. Corey Day, they may have gotten together right there down the front straightaway.
A little tap to Hoosiers. Kyle Larson found the gate on the front straightaway. does not slow him down. He's knocking on the door for Corey Day. It's like Oskaloosa all over again.
Yes, it absolutely is. Corey Day in that fourth spot. Kyle Larson pulls up next to him down the front straightaway. Going to take it away into turn number 1. Kyle Larson up to 4th and looking for his 6th sprint car win in a row. Corey Day back to the inside down the back straightaway. Takes it right back away.
The true Tulare diamond move in turns 1 and 2 is starting to come into play here tonight as Corey Day is using it in full effect as we're a few laps away from lap traffic, Chase.
Abreu's now stepped the 24 car up to the top of the racetrack in his pursuit, the 83V car of Dylan Bloomfield. Brad Sweet on the same straightaway as lap traffic. Still a long ways to go, 29 laps to go, and Sweet's going to encounter traffic within the next 3 laps.
Traffic in the view of Brad Sweet as Rico Abreu's getting familiar once again with a concrete Tulare. A super slider turn 3-4. He's going to park Bloomfield. Bloomfield's upside down, collects Corey Day.
And Larson. Day kept going. How did they both keep going? What just happened? Red flag. What is the red for? They're still going.
Bloomfield flipped. Corey Day gets into him, refires the 83V. Larson stops, but Day drove away.
Have you ever? Dylan Bloomfield just brought out the red flag and then drove away from the accident. That I've never seen that in a sprint car before. Flipped over, collects Corey Day. They both keep going. Kyle Larson, really the only driver in that incident, Brad, that actually stopped, spun out trying to avoid. Wow. Bloomfield hooked the cushion right there and was along for the ride after that.
Oh, that's going to be on Flow Top 5 next week.
Oh, my, it has to be. We should have said, hello, YouTube, as soon as that happened. You'll definitely see that on the top 5 moments from Flow, I'm sure.
So safety crew talking to Dylan Bloomfield on the front straightaway. They are talking to the driver. Obviously, he drove away. Corey Day's getting a push. We'll see if Corey's going to go to the work area as we get a Flow Racing replay here, Chase.
Let's see what happened. Bloomfield runs the bottom off of turn 2. Rico's coming at him right here with a slider. Bloomfield sees it, hooks the cushion. I don't know. It looked to me like, if we can run that back one more time, guys, I think that he had hooked it before Rico may have gotten in the back of him there. We'll have to take a look at it here in just a moment and see if that is the case. Hard to tell from there, Brad, but it looked like he definitely hit the cushion before Rico got to him. Here it is again.
Yeah, and that's a big thing here, Chase, is when you go in the entry of turn 3, you're so committed to the line you're in. If you check up on the curb, it just grabs you, and a lot of moisture in the curb right now. And, yeah, he just hooked the wall.
Yeah.
Looks like the Hoosier just kind of, he slowed down the revolutions with the right rear tires and just hooked the wall. And
I don't get that. That is unbelievable. That is unbelievable that he kept on going. So I'm not sure how that's going to be scored, Brad. We'll have to wait and see what Mike Hess and the rest of the High Limit Racing officials do here as far as who was involved in that incident. You know, it doesn't look like Corey Day and Dylan Bloomfield. Obviously, they went back to the work area with some pretty significant damage. You're taking a look at the work area right now with Corey Day. They're changing out the top wing on the 4C's construction number 14 car.
And that's going to shake up the points tremendously after this one, depending if Corey can get back out. But I know Corey definitely licking his chops coming on the West Coast swing, maybe be able to get some points gained back to his program, and that's a tough break for the 14 car.
Yeah, it came in tonight just 16 points behind Rico Abreu for the 4th position in the point standings. Okay, so looks like repairs continue for Corey Day and Dylan Bloomfield, and we have received the official word here, Brad, from Mike Hess. He was calling the red flag when Bloomfield flipped. Kyle Larson trying to avoid getting into the incident and trying to slow his car down for the red flag. He will not be charged with that caution, so he will maintain his position. Let me see where he was at there at that point in time. He was running 5th, collecting Bloomfield and Day. He's going to be in 3rd spot now. So Mike Hess saying that he was calling red as Bloomfield was flipping. Kyle Larson trying to avoid a flipping car will get his spot back. So it's going to be Brad Sweet, Rico Abreu, Kyle Larson, the top 3. Then McFadden and Courtney, the top 5. Cole Macedo, Brenham Crouch, Shane Golobic, Spencer Bayston, and Corey Eliason should be the top 10 when we go back to green.
And Sanders is +5. Looking at the rundown right now, Sanders is +5. With the absence of those two, Sanders will actually be +7 on this restart.
He'll be up to 14th.
So making moves. Shane Golobic's been marching forward along with Cole Macedo. And we look at that replay, James McFadden.
He got into it a little bit.
Very close to that. If he didn't make contact, very close. We'll keep an eye on the 83 car as well.
Yeah, he definitely got into the 83 at Bloomfield from what I saw in that replay there. Potentially could be an issue maybe for the right rear McFadden. It looks all right from here up in the tower as they continue to work on that all-star performance number 14 machine. And Corey Day should be fun to watch from the tail. Don't see Bloomfield back onto the racetrack. Parker Price Miller has made his way to the work area as well. He was running in the 25th position at the time. And looks like PPM going to get refired as well.
So a little home track advantage for some of these guys. You know, marching forward, we're only 9 laps into this race, 6 laps into this race, rather, 29 to go, and you're seeing guys that race Trophy Cup every year starting in the back. Justin Sanders, Shane Golobic, your local boys are starting to march forward in this one, Chase.
Tony?
Guys, I don't know if you can see this from up in the booth, but pinch hitter for Kubota High Limit Racing, Brian Walker, is on the track setting up the Frozen Farmer pick pint. Our track officials are back in the work area. That's Brian Walker. He's your track worker. He's your pinch hitter. He's your everything you need him to be.
Man, other duties as assigned with Kubota High Limit Racing, not just social media, but you got to pick up the Frozen Farmer pick pint as well.
Jake Brown, let's get him a K1 race gear fire suit. I want Brian Walker out here looking like a Kubota tractor. This guy does it all, you guys. It's really inspiring what Brian Walker shows up with an attitude for
He inspires me, Tony. As we look at the Frozen Farmer pick pint, we got a couple guys making some moves right there. Tyler Courtney following McFadden to the top. Looks like your race leader, Brad Sweet, going to choose the bottom. So a little bit of an interesting deal here there, Brad. We talked about Brad Sweet with, 3 months since a win. And then on the other side of things, guy starting right behind him, Kyle Larson, looking for 6 wins in a row. So quite the difference there.
This is going to be a big restart for Larson, trying to get back in rhythm here as Corey Day has made it back on the racetrack along with DJ Netto and Parker Price Miller.
So a lot of cars having issues there under that yellow. Did not even see the 9P and the 88N pull off. But Bloomfield does not return. We do not see him on the racetrack. So unfortunately, he was running second at the time of that incident. His night's going to come to an early end.
Looking back to Chase, your 2 provisional ops tonight of Tanner Thorson and Zeb Wise definitely starting to make a little bit of headway with only 6 laps complete, definitely marching forward.
Yeah, they got to hope that they can get things turned around for the rest of this West Coast swing. This is going to be a tough week, or tough 3 weeks of racing for these drivers, and provisionals, they might run out of them if they're not too careful here, because California definitely has a lot of tough cars to contend with. We're coming back to the green flag this time by. It's now Brad Sweet and Rico Abreu on the front row. Kyle Larson, James McFadden, Cole Macedo, and Tyler Courtney back to the restart zone. We are underway.
Rico trying to get a run on the curb and down the front straightaway. He's going to rip the lip through turns 1 and 2. Does Rico have anything for Brad Sweet?
Brad Sweet looked good off the bottom right there in turns 1 and 2. Kyle Larson makes it by the 83 car of James McFadden. Now looks underneath of Abreu. Car upside down into the wall in turn 4. It is Spencer Bayston.
Seen a bunch of cars make contact. Your Durst Heisch roller, Brenham Crouch, also involved.
Corey Eliason also got a piece of that. The tail tank, as you can see on your flow screen, is absolutely knocked off of that car.
Caught the very end of that chase. I've seen about 3 cars backsliding into the wall there and heavy contact made with the concrete.
This is some of the things that happen at Tulare. We know that there's chaos, calamity. All that stuff is what you sign up for when you come to the Thunderbowl. As Spencer Bayston gets put back on all 4 wheels here. Bayston 2 years ago here with the World of Outlaws led laps in both features that year. Unfortunately was not able to close out the deal. Was 4th in one of those races back in 2022. And the True Timber Camo number 5 car is in a heap over there outside of turn number 4. Tony Laporte, I see you down there on the scene. What can you tell us?
Well, I'm down here with Spencer Bayston. That number 5 True Timber car does have quite a bit of damage on pretty much all 4 corners of it. Spencer, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Car's not. Just two guys in front of me fighting for the same line going into one, and I'm trying to get away from them and just barely got clipped, trying to drive around it as they crash into each other going into 3 here. So just feel really bad. I felt like the race was just going to get going there. I really felt pretty good, getting a good restart, and we had the whole race ahead of us, and they ruined it. So feel bad for my team for sure.
All right, that's Spencer Bayston. Obviously, you know, we want to ask him, hey, what does this do to you guys for the next 2 nights? Because we're racing in Hanford tomorrow, Placerville the night after that, before heading to Chico for the Gold Cup. But Chase, Brad, he hasn't even had a chance to really look at that car yet, get an idea if there's any substantial damage to it or not. So Spencer Bayston out of this one early, and you just hope that it's not a big hole that they get put into for the rest of this West Coast weekend.
Certainly, Tony, not a good way to start off this West Coast swing. 11 races in 17 days, and man, definitely going to be a tough way to start this thing. As we'll try and get a look at it for Spencer Bayston and see what happened. Just got into the wall there, Brad, and got upside down. I didn't see what happened to Corey Eliason. That was like a separate incident with Eliason back. Here's Eliason right here. Oh, wow. Oh, so that's what got Spencer. That's what he was talking about right there. We didn't see that on the first replay, so that's what Spencer was talking about, him and Brenham Crouch and Corey Eliason getting together.
Yeah, a little squeeze play in turn number 3, and I thought Eliason backed into the fence. It was actually Bayston got his tail thing, got that loose on the 8 car. So tough break and 3 high rollers all involved that in, so that's a big points break for all 3.
Should help out Brad Sweet a little bit.
Yeah, that Delphi restart. We'll keep an eye on that. Rico is notorious for kind of getting up on the curb in turn number 4 to kind of get a run to launch him down the straight. We had a really good restart, but Sweet is really good off the bottom in turn 2.
Yeah, turn 2, we've seen that a lot over the years, that it is very good off the inside on that side of the racetrack. Top's always been the preferred groove, I would say, in 3 and 4, but we've already seen tonight a couple of times just in this main event how treacherous it can be. Lights are out on the HinderCars.com pace truck. We're ready to come back to the green flag. Sweet, Abreu, Larson, McFadden, and Courtney. Tyler Courtney hoping to get up there and maintain the championship points battle with Brad Sweet. Came in tonight 96 points behind him. Coming back to the restart. We are underway. Brad Sweet leads him back down.
Another great restart by Brad Sweet. That thing absolutely takes off on the restart. Rico's going to bang the board off at turn number 2, try to get a run, but he leaves the door for Larson to get a run down the back chute.
Top of the racetrack at turns 1 and 2 does not look like the place to be right now as Abreu gets into the cushion right there. You can see him turn the wheels to the left, car into the infield in turn 3. Caution is out for the 26 of Zeb Wise.
Him and Justin Sanders made contact. Sanders' car laying a little to the right. Not sure if there's, it looks like the shock might be broke or a radius rod might be out of the 2X of Justin Sanders.
And look at that, landed right next to our infield camera guy for Zeb Wise. So you can see he definitely got into the infield barrier. That rear push bumper is definitely askew on the Rudine management number 26 car.
And very lucky to stay on all 4s. That could have been really bad for the 26.
Especially after taking a provisional. Definitely don't want to tear up a race car. So did not get a lap completed there. Going to still have 29 to go. Having a rough time getting this race underway. Zeb Wise running in the 20th position at the time of that incident there. Here's a replay. We'll see what happened from our end. This is going to be an interesting angle right here because he lands right in front of our camera guy. So Sanders hit something right there, and Zeb was just trying to avoid him.
So it looks like Sanders got into the left rear of Jock Goodyer, and looks like he either broke a shock, a stop, or something in the right front. As you see in the right front bounce down the front straightaway, and Zebby just nowhere to go.
And shout out to the camera guy there. It looked like he did not move. He did get, I'm being told he actually did run away from the scene, but still was able to get a decent shot of Zeb Wise flying into the picture there. If they do hit the cone, or if they pass before the cone, they will be penalized on the next restart or at the finish of the race. Lights are out. We're going green next time by. Still your same top 5 as before. Golobic now up into 7th. Carrick is into the top 10. Justin Peck right outside the top 10, it looks like right now in the Boog Motorsports 13, started 18th on the field. Heard Peck earlier on, does not get to come to the Thunderbowl very often, maybe once a year.
Well, we'll see what Sweet can do on this restart. He's had a lot of opportunities to try to change it up. We'll see if Rico, Larson, and the rest of the field can answer the call.
All right, let's see what happens. We're going back to the green. 29 laps to go for Thursday Night Thunderbowl.
Sweet downstairs. Rico's going to pound the curb through turns 1 and 2. Gets a run off of turn number 2. Your race is going to be for the lead here momentarily.
It certainly is. Now Brad Sweet goes to the top in turns 3 and 4. Kyle Larson going to try and tiptoe downstairs. He's going to take the second spot away at the line. Yes, he does. Kyle Larson's up to second, getting by Rico Abreu off at turn number 4.
He's going to kind of check Rico in turn number 1. Rico got to get on the brakes. All of a sudden, here comes J-Mac out of nowhere.
McFadden into the second spot, getting by Kyle Larson. James McFadden on the very inside of the racetrack, making it work right now in the Rock Enterprises number 83.
J-Mac getting rolling, and good timing too. Is then Sharisa Roth, if they're not here, they're watching on flow. Larson's trying to answer the call back on the outside, but J-Mac's got the bottom working.
James McFadden, very good on the inside of the speedway early on in this race at the Thunderbowl Raceway. Kyle Larson runs in third, fourth is Rico Abreu. Fifth right now is Tyler Courtney. You can tell that McFadden might be closing in slightly on the 49 car, Brad Sweet, but Kyle Larson not going away easy.
McFadden tiptoes around the bottom side of the racetrack. Larson's getting familiar once again with the curb at the Thunderbowl. Side by side, momentarily down the front straight. And again, Chase, they are both roping in Brad Sweet right now.
They definitely look like they're catching up. Kyle Larson back to the right rear of James McFadden. Down the back straightaway. Kyle Larson drills the right rear into the cushion off of turn number 4. He's got the second spot back and now begins his pursuit of the big cat down into turn 1.
We've been promoting it all week on social media, the family feud of the 2013 Trophy Cup between Sweet and Larson. It's replay mode here at the Thunderbowl, and Sweet smokes the curb in turn number 3 a little bit, Chase.
Race traffic right up the road for your race leaders. All those cars are on the inside, though, and Brad Sweet's been running the bottom in 1 and 2. He's going to have to go to the top when he gets to the back of the field. Kyle Larson behind him down the back straightaway, about 8 car lengths separate the top 2, and McFadden really not far out of this picture as well, Brad.
McFadden being patiently aggressive on the bottom as Sweet now goes to the top for the first time in turns 1 and 2. He's going to test the waters, a kiss to the curb. He spins the tires a little bit, but not close enough for McFadden to make something happen. They are both still roping him in, though, Chase.
McFadden's back into the second spot, getting by Kyle Larson. Car off the pace down the front stretch at Dominic Scelzi. We're going to have to go caution for the red line oil number 41 car. Yellow flag is out for Dominic Scelzi. Was running at the 18th position at the time. Yeah, Shane Bowers. If you didn't know who he was prior to 2024, you do now. Corey Day has shown just what a good crew chief Shane Bowers really is. Been fun to watch that pairing all year long with Kubota High Limit Racing. So now the former teammates with Casey Kahne Racing will line up from the front row for the restart. Brad Sweet and James McFadden. And boy, have these guys had some battles this year. Remember the scary incident at Salina High Banks in Oklahoma when they got together and McFadden flipped, and then the photo finish at 34 Raceway in West Burlington, Iowa. McFadden Sweet, they've definitely gone at it a couple times this year in high limit racing competition.
Definitely setting themselves up for an epic battle at the front of the field. McFadden's been rolling the bottom, as we touched on. He's going to restart on the outside for this restart, so we'll see if J-Mac can time this and stay with Sweet. Rico back on the outside for the restart. Larson to his inside, so a lot of movers and shakers on this one.
Yeah, I think McFadden, if he's going to pass Brad in turn 1, it's going to have to be on the top. We've seen Sweet kind of bend down there. He only went to the top when he had to get by the lap cars. And so McFadden's going to have to try and search for something. You just mentioned it. He's been good on the inside, on that side of the racetrack, but it's going to be tough to pass Brad if he's down there as well. HendrickCars.com pace truck pulls off.
So it took 5 laps to get in traffic last time, Chase, so we'll kind of keep that in mind as this goes.
We'll keep one eye on the battle for the lead, one eye on the 14 car of Corey Day, who's up to 12 from the work area as we go back to the green flag. Kyle Larson with a good start, looking underneath of James McFadden. McFadden with a run to the outside, and is going to try and challenge Brad Sweet for the race lead down the backstretch.
McFadden's going to duck down low, Sweet to the outside. Rico definitely struggling on the restarts, kind of held up the outside line as Larson's going to try to power around McFadden. Can't do it off of 4.
Brad Sweet to the bottom in turn 1. McFadden going to go to the outside of the racetrack in the Rock Enterprises number 83 car. Now, Rico Abreu is battling with the 7BC of Tyler Courtney. Down the back straightaway, Tyler Courtney looking for fourth into turn 3 underneath the 24 car.
Rico kind of struggling right now in the midpoint of this race as he opens the door for Sunshine. Move Tyler Courtney up to P4 as Larson's got the top working again in car number 57, trying to track down Brad Sweet.
You can tell Larson's getting a little bit more aggressive with the cushion on turn number 2. He's getting a little bit more comfortable with it down there, and I think he might be able to reel in the 49 car of Brad Sweet. That time by Sweet, a 16.179. Larson, a 16.455. But you can tell right there in turn 2, Kyle Larson makes up some ground on the 49 car.
Larson's going to shut the door on McFadden as we look back to the race for fourth. Rico absolutely murdered the wall last time about turn 4. McFadden clips the berm. Here comes Rico and Sunshine.
Wow, McFadden, I don't know how that car didn't get upside down. Was up on the right rear doing the pogo stick right there, and Rico Abreu's going to move by him on the outside into the 3rd spot. It's close call for McFadden. He's lucky to be even going in this race still. Falls back into 4th.
Patiently aggressive. Go back to that again for McFadden. Now he's going to have to gather his marbles back in. Here comes Cole Macedo out of nowhere. He blasts around Sunshine Tyler Courtney.
Cole Macedo into the top 5. The last time by Kyle Larson was 0.3 of a second faster than your race leader, Brad Sweet. Sweet around the outside in 1 and 2. Goes back to the bottom in 1 and, or back, sorry, the top in 3 and 4, bottom in 1 and 2. And he's still got a long ways until the traffic, Brad, so he's got some time to try and think about what he wants to do here.
Sweet upstairs, just kind of biding his time around the curb here at the Thunderbowl Raceway, rather. We look back, a tip of the cap. Chris Windom runs inside the top 10 right now, Chase. A good run this season for him.
Windom around the bottom now into the top 10. He's up into the 9th position, working on Brent Marks for 8th. And Corey Day now gets by Windom, gets by Marks. Corey Day is up to 8th from the work area.
Corey Day is absolutely trucking in car number 14 as traffic is starting to creep into the picture once again for Brad Sweet. Here comes Larson, a run off of turn number 2. Larson absolutely dogging Brad Sweet now.
Kyle Larson absolutely beating down the curb here at the Thunderbowl Raceway. Now within 2 car lengths of the number 49 car back into turn number 1. Rico Abreu runs in 3rd, but Kyle Larson has the cushion wired off of turn 2 to the outside. Battle for the lead at the Thunderbowl Raceway. Brad Sweet goes to the top. Traffic up ahead of him. What's going to happen here? We've got 11 laps to go this time by.
Larson definitely tapped to the brake pedal, a deep breath, kind of gathers it back in, just going to bide his time. He knows he has the car to keep with Sweet. He's going to be patient, not make any mistakes as Sweet has to back his corner up, floats it through the middle. He's going to scrub speed. Here comes Kyle Larson.
Larson down the front straight within a car length as Dylan Bloomfield switched the lineup. Now he goes to the bottom. That opens up the top. Here comes Kyle Larson to the outside. Takes the lead away. Kyle Larson to the top spot on lap number 25. But Brad Sweet right back to the inside. Slides in front of him. Great stuff at the front of the field of the Thunderbowl.
Sweet's going to slide him, tack the curb. He will not go gentle to the goodnight. Sweet's going to stay true to the bottom. Larson's going to bang the wall, turns 1 and 2. Around the outside, Kyle Larson to the top spot.
Larson takes it back away, and he's still got traffic up the road. Brad Sweet tries to diamond it off the corner, but Kyle Larson pulls away down the front straightaway, looking for his 6th sprint car win in a row. But Brad Sweet, as you mentioned, not going to go away quietly, right back to the outside in turn 2.
While these two kind of junking and jiving through traffic, Rico starting to rope him back in. Now a lap car separates Larson and Sweet. Henry's going to pound the curb. The lap car in between him as Larson's got thick lap traffic. His teammate right in front of him.
Larson's going to have to make a move here to get by John Goodyer, but
Shane Golobic just tagged the wall, him and Corey Day.
Corey Day with a flat right rear and Golobic looking the wrong direction off the 4th corner. They were running 7th and 8th at the time.
I caught the end of it, Chase. I want to say Golobic and maybe Tyler Courtney might have got together in turn number 4, and Corey Day nowhere to go.
So Corey Day, right rear, absolutely destroyed on that car, and you could tell that there is front-end damage on the Matt Wood Racing 17W for Shane Golobic.
Right then, Courtney, not sure if he was involved, but it kind of looked like he was. They were running 6th, 7th, and 8th. Courtney, Golobic, and Corey Day.
Going to be about 8 laps to go when we go back to green. Great run for Macedo, who started in the 9th position, is into the top 5. Tyler Courtney 6th, Brent Marks is 7th. Chris Windom is 8th. 9th is Zeb Wise. After spinning out earlier, Zeb Wise is up to 9th. And 10th at this point in time looks to be the 83T of Tanner Carrick.
PPM also went to the work area during the incident on lap number 9, or one of the incidents on lap number 9. He was working his way forward. as well. So tip of the cap to them boys getting back on the racetrack. And looking at the laps go, we got 7 laps to go, Chase.
And Tony, what do you got?
Brian Walker back to doing more. He doesn't just tweet, folks. Now he's got the orange single file cone out on the inside of the front straightaway. Walkipedia can do it all.
He certainly can. Thank you for keeping us updated from down in the infield there, Tony. As HendrickCars.com pace truck pulls into the infield, Kyle Larson with 8 laps to go to secure his 6th sprint car win in a row. Can he do it? We're about to find out. We're back to green at the Thunderbowl.
Back to action here at the Thunderbowl Raceway. Larson with a great start over Sweet. Here comes Rico trying to make something happen around the outside of Sweet. Sweet a little crossed up. Here comes Rico.
Abreu into the P2 position as Brad Sweet got a little bit sideways in the center of turns 1 and 2. Loses that position to Rico. Sweet back into 3rd, and here comes Tyler Courtney off the bottom, challenging Cole Macedo and James McFadden for 4th.
Macedo looks to the outside of McFadden. He's going to rip the lip through turns 1 and 2. McFadden with the run, side by side down the back straightaway. Give the nod to Macedo at the P4, and here comes Sunshine.
Cole Macedo with an impressive run right now, up into the 4th position, and looking at Brad Sweet now for 3rd, but McFadden gets back around on the outside, takes the spot back away. Great 3-car battle for that 4th spot. McFadden, Macedo, and Courtney all over the racetrack here at the Thunderbowl.
Meanwhile, up front, a 2.5 lead the last time by for Larson as we click off lap number 31. 31 down, 4 to go. 1.7 second lead for Kyle Larson.
Larson, last time he was here, was standing in World of Outlaws victory lane. He's a handful of laps away from doing it again here tonight with High Limit Racing for $25,000. Down the front straightaway, Abreu too far behind. 2 seconds is the gap between the 57 and the 24.
Rico's trying his hardest in car number 24, just a little too tight on the curb to really make up any ground. He can't really hustle it. As soon as I say that, Larson kind of tripped up on the curb but keeps on trucking.
Kyle Larson 2 laps away. It does not look like the traffic will interrupt his progress right now. Everybody mainly on the top side of the racetrack here late in this race as they come to the white flag this time by. Kyle Larson into the lap traffic, sees the white flag, 1 to go. Larson hooks the cushion in turn 1. No harm, no foul. Abreu, 2.5 seconds behind. 3 and 4 for the final time. It will be 6 sprint car wins in a row. Kyle Larson wins at the Thunderbowl. Rico Abreu 2nd. 3rd goes to Brad Sweet. 4th is James McFadden. And 5th will be Cole Macedo at the line. Kyle Larson gets the win in car number 57. Started back in the 5th position, makes his way forward. Rico Abreu 2nd. 3rd goes to Brad Sweet. 4th to the 83 of James McFadden. 5th, the number 21 of Cole Macedo. 6th with the 7 BC of Tyler Courtney. 7th to 19 of Brent Marks. 8th to 26 of Zeb Wise. 9th to 55 Chris Windom. And 10th, 9P Parker Price Miller. Behind them, DJ Netto, Justin Peck, Tanner Carrick, Brenham Crouch, and Casey Kahne, the top 15. Jock Goodyer, Dylan Bloomfield, Caleb Henry, Shane Golobic, Corey Day, 11th through 20th. And behind them, Dominic Scelzi, Tanner Thorson, Spencer Bayston, Corey Eliason, Justin Sanders, and Landon Brooks. Here he comes, race fans. He's won 6 sprint car races in a row, dating back to Peebly, Missouri, Oskaloosa, Iowa, 2 nights at Knoxville. Here he is, Thunderbowl, Kyle Larson, your winner. He'll climb off the front of the Silva Motorsports number 57 and make his way towards the podium on the front straightaway. He'll have a word with Tony Laporta here momentarily. Rico Abreu, 2nd. Brad Sweet, 3rd, will also get a word with Tony Laporta. But Kyle Larson, last time he was here, it was World of Outlaws victory lane. Before that, it was Trophy Cup victory lane. And now he has done it with High Limit Racing. Makes his way through the gate. He can hear you now, race fans. Kyle Larson making his way towards the podium. Tony, take it away.
Kyle Larson will jump up here on the top of the podium. I'm going to try to climb up there with him. It's a big step. Kyle Larson, how about it, Thunderbowl Raceway? He can hear you. How about it? He's your winner. It looked like you had a second gear in that number 57 race car when you were slamming off the wall over in turn number 2. I want to know, I think these people want to know, what is it like to bounce off the concrete here in Tulare?
It doesn't get much better. So I love this place, especially when it's like that. It's been, I don't get to race here much. I've only raced here a few times in the last decade, but even before that, I don't remember being able to run the wall like that off of 2. Usually you kind of got to work the diamond, but the dirt that we were spraying up early at night kind of packed against the wall, and typical Tulare, it kind of just ramps up, and you can just lay your cushion against it and kind of slingshot off it a couple different ways. So Brad was really good though early, and kind of stretched. James was really good around the bottom, and I couldn't do that, so I just kind of had to hammer the top, and Brad pulled away, and then I started like inching towards him, and I could get good enough runs down the back where I was like, maybe I could slide him, but I felt like I was too far back, and I just didn't want to show my nose and have him move up earlier before we got to traffic and kind of get wound up. So it's just tough sometimes being a leader. He could obviously feel the pressure. I got by him a little bit there at once, and he got kind of impatient and ended up falling back down to the bottom. I ripped the wall really hard that one time and got by, and the caution came out right after because I was getting ready to get stuck again in traffic. So just super technical. Both ends were way different. That end you had to run super hard, and then this end you had to like tiptoe on entry. So I like the technical technique that it takes to get around here, and yeah, it's just an awesome place.
You guys have no telemetry in your race car. You don't know that you're reeling in Brad. So from the naked eye, behind the wheel of that Paul Silva number 57, when you start getting green flag laps and you start being able to reel in Brad, how easy is it to tell that from the driver's seat? Do you know that what you're doing is working? Obviously it did, but do you ever have that thought, oh, I don't know, maybe I need to switch things up?
Yeah, well, I did. I got back by James after that restart, and he was so good around the bottom. I was like, well, and Brad, I don't think knew that he was coming, tiptoeing around there. So I was like, well, maybe I can try it. Maybe I'll figure it out, and I can catch Brad off guard. But I tried it one time in 3 and 4. I was like, yeah, I got to get back to the top, just get wound up. And about then, that's when I started kind of taking a couple car lengths a lap away, and it just timed out right for traffic. So a lot of fun there. But cool to be, 6 in a row, I guess, now in the sprint car, back to 2020, 2021 form, just a little bit late into my year, but huge thank you to Paul Silva. We had the Finley Farms guys here tonight, Kevin Kozlowski, Flow Racing, Fulton Brothers Trucking, Durst, HendrickCars.com, Glenn Stiers, JVI, everybody that's a part of this team, all of Paul's product sponsors as well. He's got a great team and a great team of people that back him.
On Wing Nation after the Knoxville Nationals, his 3rd Knoxville Nationals win last week. You told Steve Post on Wing Nation that when the car's working well, you and Paul really don't talk that much. So I imagine when you go back to the pit area tonight, you're not going to have much to say to him.
No, usually just when you're good, you just say good, and that's about it. But I said on Wing Nation this week, I feel like typically when Paul and I struggle, it's because I get communicating, I feel like, a little bit too much. We seem to get going better when we just don't talk about the car, and he's so good at seeing what it needs, and he's just the best at I feel like seeing it and not really having to rely on the driver's feedback, because we are not crew chiefs, we are not engineers, and they're the brains. So it's fun working with Paul and Trevor and Doug, and I look forward to seeing them getting jock tuned up during this next handful of races, and get you fans to see some crazy Australian driving.
All right, and finally, you are not a full high roller. We wish you were, but our angel donor here in 2024 has kind of given you full-time driver eligibility. So as a feature winner with Kubota High Limit Racing in 2024, you get to send $1,000 to a charity of your choice from our angel donor. Which charity are you choosing to support tonight?
Yeah, I think it's called the Alopecia Foundation. My daughter, her hair looks great right now, but when she was 2-3 years old, it was pretty bad. So we'll support alopecia. I'm balding, but I blame my kids on that more so than alopecia. But no, it's a great cause.
I don't have any kids, but I'm balding too, so we'll go with that. Ladies and gentlemen, 6 feature wins in a row. The one, the only, Kyle Larson. Let's run over here and talk to Rico Abreu really quick. He and Larson debrief. All right, Rico, so that race seemed really, really hectic at the start. How difficult is it to get into a rhythm when it's yellow after yellow after yellow like that?
Yeah, I mean, just breaking down your balance. I first want to apologize to the 83V guys. You know, I don't necessarily, I got to go back and watch the film. I just think I went to a four-wheel slide and just kind of ran him out of real estate probably. You know, he short slid me a couple laps before that. You know, there was no intentions giving anything back. I just, you know, the corners are so tight here, you just back up the track really quick. And, you know, I knew I created a bunch of chaos back there checking him up. So apologies for that, but just really cool to have a bunch of partners here tonight. Spankins Motorsports, they came all the way from Wisconsin. I got Pacific Boring on our car this weekend. They're not far from here. ArcZone.com, Mr. Jim Watson's here tonight. You know, just a bunch of partners. Kyle Heckman with Elite Signs. Tony Toast came to watch with his boy tonight. So just incredibly fortunate to be surrounded by some great people and get to race in front of some high-intensity races out here. This high-limit series is really elevated the sport of sprint car racing, and you fans are definitely in for a treat just coming here supporting this. I know how appreciative all the high-limit employees are, all of us racers are, getting to race in front of some of the best fans in the world out here. We get the luxury to travel all over the United States, and I know a lot of teams were really looking forward to coming out here and racing in front of you guys.
Second place for California's own Rico Abreu. And we are going to go get Brad Sweet. Here he comes, right here. He comes in tonight as the championship point leader for Kubota High Limit Racing. How about a round of applause for third place, Brad Sweet, folks? Brad, talk to Rico about getting into a rhythm with that race taking so long to really get into some green flag laps with yellows. But I want to talk about trying to hold off Kyle Larson. He's banging off the boards over in turns 2. He's finding the way to make it work on the bottom. Is there anything different now after a $25,000 feature you look back on and go, I should have done that?
Always, you know, every time you run a race, you always wish you could have a few things back. You know, very rarely do you run a perfect race, but no, I mean, Kyle's on kill, and you know when you're against the wall like that, he's going to be comfortable and making speed somehow, some way. And, you know, I felt like I was really good on the bottom of 1 and 2. You know, for a long time there, I really had to get my wing back and be real patient with the race car. But every caution, it seemed like it would get a little bit, a little slicker, and you know, I couldn't link the grip together as well. And probably should have just went to the top and made a commitment, you know, in 1 and 2. I just never really felt comfortable off of 2, you know, with the way that we had to kind of be on the wall. But you know, I was able to get back by Kyle there, and I knew he was running the top, so that's just shame on me for not at least making him move. But all in all, we had a good car all night, maybe a little bit too good too early, kind of got a little bit up out of the track late, but you know, a lot of fun. Tulare is always so fun. I've always been close to winning here, but it seems like either Kyle beats me or wipes me out or something, and then you know, Rico's always really good here, so no, it was a lot of fun. Thank you to all you race fans for coming out. Really fun on a Thursday night to be able to bring the High Limit Racing Series to you know, California's own here. So we're just really proud of everything we're doing, and hopefully we can get the Snap Auto Parts car in victory lane on this California swing. There's a lot of big races.
That's Brad Sweet, your third place finisher here tonight. Send him off with some support, folks.